Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, John Oceguera joins us. He's former Speaker of the Nevada Assembly and CEO of Strategies 360. Here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The points are flying out the door during the Point Party Palooza giveaways going on now at the Carson Valley Inn. Up to 1 million points given away each drawing night. And over 1 million in points guaranteed during the grand prize point explosion. Get in on the action at the Carson Valley Inn.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program John Oceguera, the former Speaker of the Nevada Assembly, and now CEO of Strategies 360. Okay, explain what happened and how many states you're operating in. Give us the whole scoop here.
Well, thanks, Sam. It's always great to be on your show. I really appreciate the invite. Yeah, some exciting news for me personally. Strategies 360 is a company I've worked for 12 years. I was the chief strategy officer until actually Friday, where I took over as CEO. The company went through some tough times. They had, like many companies, you had some partners that were fighting, and the partners battled it out and one got a judgment against the other, and then the other thought the best way to get out of that was a bankruptcy. That never works out. So in the end, I was able to kind of swoop in and pick up the company. And now we're looking just forward. 5 states, it's a little smaller than it used to be, but Alaska, Washington, Oregon, New Mexico, Nevada. And then we do 5 divisions. We do communications, public affairs, education policy, creative, and digital. So we have a full suite of services, and I'm excited, and I think everybody in the firm's excited to move forward and put kind of the past in the past and look to build this company back up. One thing that we have is a lot of great people, and I'm just lucky to be in the room with a lot of them. They're smart, they care about their clients, so that'll be the philosophy going forward. Have good people doing good things, and pay them well, and we'll all do well.
Well, congratulations on all of that. So let's just go back for a few minutes here and look at the special session that just occurred. Your thoughts on that and winners and losers at that session.
Ooh. Yeah, it was a rough one, to say the least. Strategically, some of the Democrats decided that they weren't going to come back. They were either running for other offices or they were just, haven't announced what they're going to do yet. I think that then put other Democrats in a position to kind of challenge that authority. And they did that. And then you've got the dynamic going on, across the country. You've got the super progressives and you got the super MAGAs, and they're pulling their parties further and further to the left and to the right. And so that caused, I think, a little bit of problems. Shockingly, right? Like the film tax did not get through, supported by a lot of the biggest players in the state. Luckily, we didn't have a dog in that fight, but we got to stand on the sidelines and watch. I also thought that maybe the call from the governor was pretty broad, and that then added more drama to the situation. Yeah, I think I don't think a lot of people won in that session.
Speaking as a former speaker, shouldn't a special session really be down to one, at most two items as the reason for calling a special session?
Yeah, I think the narrower the scope, the better. When you make it too broad, then a lot of other interests come into play. Generally, what you try to do is have consensus, and I'm sure some, and probably some who have come on your show, have said that there was consensus going in, and maybe that fell apart. But usually, you have a pretty good consensus, and I'm not talking about backroom deals. I'm just talking about you're talking to folks and making sure that they're all rowing the boat the same direction, and you go in there and you get in there and get out of there as quickly as you can. The longer you stay, the more tomfoolery happens, and I think that's part of what happened here too. I mean, they were there, I can't remember now, but 5 or 6 days. It was a long time, it felt like to me.
Yeah, right. The during the regular session, and it seemed to carry on all the way through the special session, people hadn't made up their minds, or at least they were publicly saying they hadn't made up their minds. Isn't part of lawmaking counting the votes so that before you even have a special session, you pretty much know what the result is going to be before you open the door in Carson City?
Yeah, you should, Sam. That really has been the policy of the past. It's kind of like the old lawyer, deal. You don't ask a question you don't already know the answer for. So you don't want to get up there and get caught by surprise, and that seemed to happen quite a few times in this special session. And I think it's a product of a couple things. There is some indecisive legislators for sure, but I think that's from inexperience, right? The turnover and the churn at the legislature now is just every 2, 4, maybe 6 years. I mean, you saw that even the speaker, the majority leader, the speaker pro tem, all were not termed out and decided not to come back. Term limits, whether you like them or you don't, you do lose experience with term limits.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. And I love Sig Rogich. I regard him as one of my special friends. And he started this whole term limits thing, and I just don't see where it's been a benefit, especially in a small state like Nevada, but probably anywhere when you have Bill Raggio, who's in for 37 years. You could depend on certain things of the legislative session. Joe Deeney, Barbara Buckley. These people all knew what they were doing, and they didn't appear to be in a rush to get out the door. Now you've got 3 of the 4 main leaders in the Senate and the Assembly, as you say, out looking for new jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So how well, I guess the question is, how tough does that make it for you representing clients to go in there knowing that not only do you have to convince a person that right is might on your client's side, and you point out the other side so that they have both sides, which is, to me, the best thing about a good lobbyist is you do present both sides. But then you also have to take into consideration what's the person's next job you're talking to.
Exactly. Well, as I'm always on your show, Sam, I want to be completely honest. I think it makes my job, it's job security for me. And that shouldn't be the way it is, right? We continually have to re-educate, which means my clients have to continuously employ us, right? So we continue to re-educate and have these discussions over and over. And there's not a whole lot of new ideas coming when that happens too, right? People think that if you put in new people all the time that you're going to have all sorts of new ideas. What I've seen in the last 25 years of doing this is then the ideas can start to get recycled. And then folks like me have the historical knowledge, and I can tell you what happened in 2003 when we tried that before, and here's the circumstances. And most of them have no clue, right? Like they're like, you guys did this before? I thought this
Right.
was a new idea.
Right, right. Well, it's like comedy and jokes. There are no new ones. They all go back to the caveman days. Um, it seemed to me in the last regular session that the Latino caucus was way more organized and way more upfront with the media than I'd ever seen them before. And it signals to me that this is the future staring us right in the face, and we better take note of it.
Oh, couldn't agree more. All the minority caucuses are growing. I think, we are, if we're not already a minority majority state. And the other factor there, I would say, is that it's a younger group of folks too. So in our practice, we look to hire younger folks that have a connection. I'm a 57-year-old man. I don't necessarily have a connection with a 27-year-old legislator. So I have to hire 27-year-olds that do have that connection. But the Latino caucus and others are forces to be reckoned with for sure. And if you're in business and you're not recognizing that, you're missing the boat for sure.
Social media, when Twitter first came out, that was a big deal. But social media in general has just blown up way beyond that. How much does that affect your side of the business?
Well, it's good on one hand, and then let me just shift over to that legislative side. Back when I was in the legislature, we were, had to have you check your phone at the door because you might text something out that happened in the meeting. Now it's being live tweeted or it's on Instagram. While folks are in a caucus meeting, and it's absurd. There's several legislators that I don't know. I think that's all they do, quite frankly, is social media. They don't actually talk to folks. You know, I follow quite a few of them to find out what's going on. So how it affects our business is we have to pay attention, right? We have to pay attention to social media. We actually have to be on social media also because that's sometimes how we get clients. That's
Yeah.
how folks come. Usually it was word of mouth, right? Kind of the old Rolodex, right? Like, who do you know that could help me with this issue? And then, my name or another firm's name would pop up. Now it's, what's their presence on social media? And, are they promoting themselves on social media? So I think there's a lot of positive with social media, but the information gets out quick, right? Like really quick.
All right, so let's talk about AI because, it's fascinating to watch AI on social media, and not necessarily in a good way, because you see so many deep fakes, and people don't know the difference and I think that, and I hope that at some point the federal government legislates that if something is an AI fake, that it has to come up on the screen, that you see it, just like, warnings for movies and TV shows that you see, so that people understand that this is not reality, because the deep fakes are so good that regular people don't have the time or knowledge to be able to figure out truth from fiction. And that's got to be devastating for politicians and for the lobbying industry. I mean, in some ways, it could be good if you were able to use it to help your client, but you could be attacked as well.
For sure. So yeah, it is fascinating. It's something as a firm, that we've dove into pretty heavily to either, work with it or to, to follow some of what's going on. To your point, like here, I'm a little off track, but like my wife and I, sometimes the kids make fun of us because we're like, "Is this real?" And they're like, "No, mom," or "No, dad, that's a fake." And you're like, "Oh, I was trying to figure it out." And like you said, they're so real. But on the lobbying side, for example, we use AI to take notes for legislative hearings, and we put in the prompts to catch certain things, and then we go back and we can watch those sections. So it's a time saver for us that we didn't have before. Usually we had someone sitting in that meeting watching every minute of the meeting. And that's still useful for sure. But I've noticed also that people write their testimony with AI. You can tell when
Right.
they're not having a conversation like you and I are. It's very scripted, right? And there's dashes and hyphens and the things that people don't speak like that. Um, so yeah, advantages, disadvantages for sure. But I'm with you on some type of legislation to at least identify, hey, by the way, this is not real. And I think we're going to see it more and more in political campaigns. Things that didn't actually happen being put out there as fact.
Right. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with John Oceguera. He's the former Speaker of the Nevada Assembly, and he'll be with us right after this timeout.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
The new year is bringing new ways to win big during the $175,000 Winter Wonderland giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 in cash every week and a top prize of $20,000 in cash during the grand finale drawing. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with John Oceguera. He's the former Speaker of the Nevada Assembly. He's CEO of Strategies 360. And his mom is one of our biggest fans, and we love her. She's always posting on our posts on Facebook, etc. I want to go back to the film tax credit. Mark Wahlberg said a couple of weeks ago now that it wasn't a question of if, but when. And others that have been on the program have agreed with that. Do you agree?
Totally. Yeah.
Really?
I can't. Yeah, totally. I can't imagine that. Well, I agree that it's coming back. I don't agree that it is going to get passed, but I think it will. But 100% it's coming back. If it's not in the next session of the legislature, I'll be absolutely shocked.
Okay, so what do they have to do to make it palatable to legislators at a time when every local jurisdiction and the state are all going to be looking for money over the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think that you have to make sure that the community aspect of this, just like with the Raiders, just like with the A's, we keep improving on what we ask for tax credits of these organizations to help out in the community. And I think, we've seen with the Raiders and the A's that they've done the things that they said they're going to do. Um,
Plus Formula One.
Plus Formula One, for sure. And so I think that if they can tighten that up, and I know they did a lot of work on that, a lot of work, that'll help. And then, there was competing um, views on whether this actually would, create income and not income, revenue for the state. Is it a good deal? And I think they have to make a better or more compelling case on that. I think it would. I think the construction jobs alone are worth it. But additionally, there are states that have done it and it hasn't worked out for them, and they have that working against them. So they have to show the difference between those states, that this is going to be a revenue producer in the end. And the jobs, they got to focus on the jobs again. They focused mostly on jobs this time, construction jobs, but the long-term effects of how this will help the state and diversify the economy. I think that diversifying the economy too is a real good hook for folks, because we've seen a decline here over the last year or so, and we need to make sure that we can weather those storms. We've been through some rough storms when the economy goes down.
All right, let's take another break, and we'll be right back with John Oceguera after this timeout.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Mom! It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with the former Speaker of the Nevada Assembly, John Oceguera. He's now CEO of Strategies 360. Obviously there was a big hue and cry a few months ago about the cost of coming to Las Vegas, the cost of, all the extras, the parking fees, the cost of water in a room in certain hotels. And almost everybody responded by cutting prices, having deals, and no parking fees in some cases, or reduced parking fees, all the rest of this stuff. The one comment that I thought was very interesting was the head of Wynn said that their customer, even though they paid a lot for their room, they got great value for their room. and they were looking at the higher end of the market, they weren't a part of this whole deal. And all of a sudden, over the last couple of weeks, my Facebook feed is full of deals on Wynn midweek. It's really affected everybody. It's not just the middle and lower ends of the market. It's obviously affecting the higher ends of the market too.
For sure. And, I just stayed at one of the properties mentioned, and for a wedding, a local wedding. And I had the opportunity to stay for 2 days, and I stayed for one because of the cost of the room. And we even had a little credit for breakfast, and the breakfast I think was $125.
Holy
and I
moly.
didn't and I room service, you're staying on a little staycation, but I thought that was outrageous, absolutely outrageous for some eggs.
Well, okay, so here's the other side of the coin, which is how do you build $3 and $4 billion properties and not charge the rate to be able to justify those properties? That is the conundrum these companies are facing.
Yeah, and by the way, I had a great time. The entertainment was wonderful. The room was wonderful. The service was wonderful. But there is a point where I think everybody feels that pinch, right? But I get it, right? Like, to have all those wonderful things costs money, and so are we at the point? I don't know. I like to go enjoy Las Vegas and Reno events and things as much as the next guy. But when I pay $22 for a Coors Light, I wonder if I should just stay home and watch a football game.
And that's where we have to leave it, my friend. Always great to see you, John. Congratulations again on CEO of Strategies 360, and we will see you soon.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure, Sam.
Thanks, man, and we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Check out our archives section on NevadaNewsmakers.com. Great interviews going back as far as 2002. Really worth watching. We'll see you on the next podcast.